What do you get when you take Enter the Gungeon, mix in some Binding of Isaac, and sprinkle in just a dash of Dead Cells? The answer is an indie game bursting at the seams with potential. Hello friends, my name is Codiak, one half of the team behind Legion Gaming, and today we're checking out a brand new game, Neon Abyss, to determine if it's truly worth your time. Neon Abyss is a game that I don't think will pop up on many radars this year, but thanks to some downtime and the Xbox Game Pass, I was lucky enough to spend some hours with this game. At its core, Neon Abyss is a bullet hell platformer roguelite. Your character will explore a number of randomly generated rooms, collect coins and crystals, unlock special guns, and fight bosses that block your way to the next stage. Each room you enter will offer a different surprise, whether it be full of deadly enemies or a treasure room with a number of chests. As with similar games, the key is balance. You want to collect as much as you can before you're on that floor's boss, but sometimes you're limited. Combat in Neon Abyss takes a lot of cues from successful indie games that have come before it. When it comes to weapons, you'll find many wacky and wonderful guns that border on ridiculous. While the action isn't quite as fast-paced as Enter the Gungeon, there is no shortage of imagination when it comes to firearms. Combat itself is slowed down quite a bit, and it's easily the most noticeable difference when compared to other games. While there are still frantic moments, the lack of a dodge mechanic and an overall reduced pace makes your movements feel more important. Bottom line, you won't be dodge rolling your way to victory in this game. Your adventures in Neon Abyss really make no sense. There's a brief scene at the beginning of the game where you're sitting at a table talking to Hades, and the next moment you're running and gunning, killing anything that gets in your way. The world is cohesive. It all takes place in a dingy, futuristic underworld, but the lack of aesthetic variety makes things feel a bit one flavor. The lack of any meaningful biomes or distinct settings really doesn't do the game any favors, especially when the experience is already incredibly familiar. The most memorable setting is the Afterlife nightclub you respawn at after a round. It's a charming location, but the line of interactable stations all lead to the same place. It's not enough of a bad thing to pull me out of the game, simply a missed opportunity to make Neon Abyss a bit more immersive. I've mentioned a few times now that Neon Abyss pulls inspiration from a number of successful indie games, and once again, we see another example of that with the enemies. While you play as a human, you'll run across a number of weird and disgusting creatures during your runs, and each and every one of them wants to kill you. While none of the monsters really stood out to me as truly unique, the team accomplished their goal and created enemies that had a distinct look that matched their distinct attacks. This is a really important factor for games like Neon Abyss and gives players that visual cue as to what they're fighting and how to adapt to overcome the challenge. Much like Enter the Gungeon, Neon Abyss also features a number of vibrant bosses. The game pulls from its techno-punk theme to create a number of enemies that just don't make sense, and that's perfectly okay. While the bosses don't rise to the same level of challenge as some other bullet hell games, they're no pushover, and they definitely force you to focus and react to a more complex challenge. I personally enjoyed these fights. I have no doubt that skilled platformers will have no problem taking these down, but I also think they offer newer and more casual players a decent challenge without being brutally hard. If I had to point out one thing I really admired about Neon Abyss, it would definitely be the balance. Enemies are hard, but not too hard, and while you can get pretty powerful with the right amount of luck and skill, you're never immortal. It's that fine line that games like this try and walk, and I have to admit, Neon Abyss did a great job straddling it. One thing that kept me going for hours while playing Neon Abyss was the collectibles. The game features a number of core systems that taunt players into finding items that could potentially help them in trials ahead. A key system helps you unlock doors, open chests, and gain access to new areas, while the crystal system acts in a similar way. It's this two-currency relationship that often forces you to make tough decisions about where to spend your resources, and that can make your playthrough a bit more interesting. There are other things like shrines that reward you with special items, and even secret locations unlocked through a variety of ways. It's the classic carrot on the stick effect, and it works. It's not the most intricate system, but it's effective and gives you enough of an incentive to soldier on and explore every possible nook and cranny. One of the most unique features of Neon Abyss is the egg system. While exploring, you may find mysterious eggs that float around your character's head. After spending some time in combat, these eggs hatch, potentially rewarding you with a useful pet. These creatures act as combat allies or just provide you with some sort of assistance during your adventures. It's a neat little system and one that actually makes this game feel unique. Of course, being a roguelite, there is also an upgrade system that persists through death. Each time you defeat a boss, you're rewarded with a token that can be used at the bar to unlock a new perk. They're like drink tickets, but instead of a cold beverage, you get some boon to help you on your next run. Again, the team isn't reinventing the wheel here, but that doesn't mean it isn't effective. Neon Abyss won't win any awards for originality. It's clearly a game inspired by some of the best indies ever created, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. The combat is slower, but addicting. The items, interesting enough that I wanted to capture them all, and the difficulty was the perfect balance of fair and ruthless. So at the end of the day, we return to the original question: is Neon Abyss worth your time? And the answer is yes. If you enjoy these types of games, then you will most likely have fun with Neon Abyss. I don't think the game will rise to any sort of prominence. There are just one too many things holding it back, whether it be the slightly mobile-esque graphics or the lack of originality. But at the end of the day, the game is fun, and that's enough of a reason to check it out. Neon Abyss is available on all major systems as of July 14th, and will run you about $20. An important note, this is also available on the Xbox Game Pass. We hope this video helped you figure out if Neon Abyss is worth your time. If you enjoy this series and want more worth your time videos in your feed, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing to Legion Gaming. You can also check us out on Discord. Our community of over 5,000 members is spread across dozens of great games, so click that link below and join the Legion. Finally, if you like our videos and want to support Legion Gaming even more, check out our brand new Patreon page. For just a few months, you get some awesome rewards like custom artwork and access to our private servers. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legion Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.